When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for a people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with their current form of government, and to resume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these sovereign states and the citizens thereof, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their current systems of government. The history of Barack Hussein Obama, the President of the United States, is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. President Barack Hussein Obama has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good, when he authorized the murders of Anwar al-Awlaki and Samir Khan, American citizens, and separately al-Awlaki's 16-year-old son Abdul Rahman, none of whom were ever charged with a crime in a court of law, thereby nullifying the Fifth Amendment, which states that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. President Barack Hussein Obama has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them by refusing to identify and deport illegal aliens and then denying the sovereign state of Arizona the right to defend its own borders. In collusion with treasonous members of Congress, President Barack Hussein Obama has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. President Barack Hussein Obama has attacked elected representatives repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. President Barack Hussein Obama has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. President Barack Hussein Obama is trying to make the Supreme Court of the United States dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and for their relevance. President Barack Hussein Obama has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. President Barack Hussein Obama is forming among us, in times of peace, standing armies of private mercenaries without the consent of our legislatures. President Barack Hussein Obama has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefit of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing or ignoring the free system of American laws, establishing therein an arbitrary government by executive order, and by enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these individual sovereign states, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, altering fundamentally the forms of our government, and ceding authority to offices funded by and accountable to the Federal Reserve. for bypassing our own legislatures and declaring himself invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever, including our very right to life, President Barack Hussein Obama has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. President Barack Hussein Obama has plundered our economy, ravaged our industry, and destroyed the lives of our people. During his first term in office, he has carelessly spent as much money as every president that preceded him combined. With a debt topping $16 trillion, our great republic is teetering at the precipice of financial collapse due to his wanton disregard for the solvency of the nation. President Barack Hussein Obama is at this time forming large armies of mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy, scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. President Barack Hussein Obama has quashed all attempts at justice aimed at a violent black nationalist organization known as the New Black Panthers, who have intimidated voters at polling places, called for the murders of white citizens, and have issued dead or alive rewards, felonies ignored by the Justice Department at the behest of the president seeking to inflame racial tensions in the United States. President Barack Hussein Obama, by power of executive order signed on March 16, 2012, has reinstituted the abominable practice of slavery in the United States. The wording of the executive order is plain for all to see: to employ persons of outstanding experience and ability without compensation. Forced labor without compensation is abhorrent to the sensibilities of the citizens of these sovereign states and will not be tolerated. President Barack Hussein Obama has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers and the sovereign states of the Middle East the merciless savages of the Muslim Brotherhood and their military wing known as Al-Qaeda, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. President Barack Hussein Obama has provided material support to the enemies of the United States, namely the terror organizations known as Al-Qaeda and Hamas, as well as providing weapons to Central American drug cartels, an act which has resulted in the murders of thousands of Mexican and American citizens, including members of the United States law enforcement community. These groups are designated as terrorist organizations by the United States State Department, and any material support of them is a felony for which others have been imprisoned. President Barack Hussein Obama has directed the United States State Department, the United States military, and the nation's covert intelligence agencies to train, supply with weapons, and provide air support for Al-Qaeda terrorists in Libya, a felony. He directed U.S. Ambassador to Libya Christopher Stevens to transfer advanced shoulder-fired missiles stolen by Al-Qaeda from Libyan armories to affiliated Al-Qaeda groups currently fighting against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, a felony. President Barack Hussein Obama has proven himself utterly incompetent in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces. Having ignored pleas for help from Ambassador Stevens for months, he stood by and watched as our consulate was overrun by the merciless savages of Ansar al-Sharia, ordering assets in the vicinity to stand down. Then he relieved of their commands for disobeying orders flag and general officers of the United States military who had attempted to save our ambassador and the U.S. citizens under his care. For 2 weeks after the attack on the sovereign territory of the United States consulate in Benghazi, President Barack Hussein Obama, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta, and their surrogates engaged in a pattern of deceit over the attack on the consulate, lying to the American people about the events of September 11, 2012, and engaging in a cover-up of monumental proportions. The executive branch of the government of the United States of America has lost all credibility in the eyes of the American people. Therefore, we, the people of the United States of America, call for the immediate impeachment of President Barack Hussein Obama for high crimes and misdemeanors against the people, including the crimes of dereliction of duty, treason, and murder. We call on all of our representatives in the House and those in the Senate, any who still have an ounce of integrity, to uphold their oaths of office and to support and defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic, as they have sworn to do. We call upon patriots in the armed forces and civil authorities to refuse any unlawful order, including the forced disarmament of American citizens, their forced detention without due process, their rendition to foreign shores, or their arrest on any charge without a warrant that has been signed by a judge and has been issued upon probable cause. We call upon all Americans to stand firm on the United States Constitution as it was written so long ago by men who also strained against the yoke of tyranny. Natural rights do not diminish over time, nor can they be legislated out of existence. They can only be forfeited willingly. We call upon all Americans to honor the sacred blood which has been shed for their liberty, and to hold fast to the rights which nature and nature's God has apportioned us. Therefore we, the people of these United States of America, by popular assent, appealing to the supreme judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these United States, solemnly publish and declare that these United States are, and of right ought to remain, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the federal government in its current form, and that all political connection between them and the Obama administration is and ought to be totally dissolved, that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of Almighty God, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. The time has come for the will of the people to once again be heard before the tree of liberty must be refreshed with the blood of patriots and tyrants. So say we all.